Hi everyone, how are you all doing today? I hope you're all doing great. I am here today with another speed build. Now, I know that the speed build is very fast. I wanted to make a slower speed build because the last one I did was pretty fast too. And I did say I didn't like that. And a lot of people did say that they wanted it to be a little slower. So my goal was to make a slower one, but when I went to put this video, like all the clips together in my editor, the total was I think 15 hours that it took me to build this. So that's a long time, and even sped up, like it's a very, very long time. So we're trying to figure stuff out still. I do move a lot in these, and I need to like realize like, hey, I'm doing a speed build. Like you need to slow down a little bit. But when I build, like I tend to like move the camera around a lot because I like to see it from different angles, or like when I'm thinking, I'm like, like does this look good here? Or does it not? So that's kind of what goes through my head when I'm doing these type of builds, if you guys were wondering. Also, elephant in the room, I dyed my hair. So I don't know if I like it. I right now that like I did it and I did my makeup and everything, like I really, really like it. But before I did not. Like so I live on a military base, and yesterday there was a concert and it was for free, like anyone could go to it. And I wound up going, but I almost didn't because I just was not loving my hair. I wanted to wash it out. I just hated it. But right now I feel like it looks good, like now that it's done, and sometimes that's all it takes. But so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. But back to the build. So right now I want to say that I did follow a floor plan as well. So whenever I do like, I don't know, whenever I do builds, I like to base them off of floor plans. Maybe later I'll like get a little less dependent on them. But I do like to do that because my brain has like a hard time coming up with things on its own, I guess. But yeah, so I there were so many like glitchy aspects to this house, right? Because I don't know if you saw in the front, like I did do like a curved wall, and it's just, it definitely needs help. It's a little glitchy and it needs help, right? So but for the most part, I do love the way this house turned out. And like I said, I was following a floor plan, but I didn't really like the style that they went for. Um I don't know, like I wound up building this on Tartosa, but then I wound up thinking like maybe this should be like an Italian style build, like not quite Mediterranean, but like American Italian. Does that make sense? Like, well, I grew up in an American Italian family, and whenever I made the kitchen for this house, it kind of like I could see like my family having like huge dinners there, like cooking a lot of sauce, like just just doing a lot of things in there. So I wanted to make it like cozy, but not like quite Mediterranean. So that's kind of the vibe I was going for, was like American Italian type of family. And I don't know if anyone else has grown up in like American Italian families. I don't know. But a lot of the time, like, well, there's a lot of different elements, right? A big kitchen, or honestly, like in my mind, whenever I think of American Italian, I always think of small kitchens because that's just like my family grew up in. Like I grew up in like a really small like house, like Italian house. But I had a really big family, so we were all like crowded in. But I wanted to do like a big kitchen that like a lot of people could fit in. So that's kind of like what I was thinking. And also something that felt homey. You know what I mean? So big and homey were like probably like my two main focuses of this house, was trying to make everything like look really cute and also be functional. Because that's one thing with The Sims is you put too much stuff in your house and sometimes it just tends to glitch, and just it tends to have a lot of problems when you put a lot of furniture, a lot of like weird walls and platforms and stuff. So I tried to like limit that, but also at the same time, I really liked the platforms and stuff that um, we were doing here. And like, it's just so hard because with the new round walls, there are a lot of glitches with I want to say like there's this one glitch that like if you do a rounded platform, it kind of like drags the floor up. Like you could probably see it in here when I did that, but all I did was I added a trim around it. But there's obviously situations where you can't just add a trim around it, right? Like there's a lot of like situations where you just want to have it work the right way and not have to do some crazy workaround, right? But I really do like the way this house came out. And so when I like to build, or when I build, I like to build everything in like one go. So it's really hard for me to like not do that. So I this build took me like 3 days. So I actually started this build. I think it was the day before the new pack came out, the high school years pack. So the first little bit was built before that came out. And I knew I wanted to decorate it with the high school years pack. So when it came out, that's when I did my high school years video. And then the day after, I continued filming the speed build. So this speed build has been going on for like, probably, like honestly, probably 2 weeks. I finished it sometime last week, but a lot of stuff just has come up in my like actual life. Not like anything bad or anything like that, but I was going to sit down and film this a couple days ago, and I wound up going to a friend's house because of that concert that I mentioned, and I didn't know that that concert was happening. So my husband actually helped like build the stage and everything for it, and the band that performed was 303. I don't know if you remember them from like the early 2000s, but they were at least pretty big when I was like 8, 9, 10. Like they were kind of big back then. It was like that like electric kind of music. I don't know if you know them. But they performed yesterday for free. And so I didn't know that they were performing until literally the day before. So my friend asked me if she wanted to come over, or if I wanted to come over, and if I could help her like do her hair and all that stuff. And that day I was actually supposed to film and edit and do all that, and I just got sidetracked. I think I was at her house till like 10, and then the next day was the concert, so that which was yesterday. So and then now I should be pretty good for a while coming out with videos. I am so sorry that it took me so long to come out with content. Like that's literally been in the back of my mind like this whole time, is like I need to go film like now. But hopefully this speed build is like good for you guys. Hopefully you guys like it. I did put a lot of work into a lot of work into it. This house was, it's not huge, right? But it's not small. So I was gonna say it was a monster, but it really wasn't that bad. This house is it one, two? Yeah, so it's 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, which I this is like a small pet peeve of mine, but like I like to have less bathrooms than bedrooms usually in a house. But on the floor plan that I was following, basically there's this one bathroom in between the two smaller bedrooms upstairs, and it's like um I think I wound up making a Jack and Jill bath. So if you don't know what that is, it's literally just a bathroom in between 2 bedrooms, and then there's a door on each side of the bedroom to get into the middle. But I wound up doing that, and that room on the blueprint was actually a laundry room. So technically, this like based on the blueprint, this house is 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. Yeah, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. There is a master bathroom in this house. Spoiler, sorry. There is a master bathroom in this house upstairs. But on the blueprint, that was actually another full bath for like everybody. But instead, I wound up doing like this full bath downstairs, and then a master bath, and then the Jack and Jill bath. So everyone kind of has their own bathroom, I guess. So is there 4 bathrooms in this house? Did I say four? Because now that, no, there's only three. I stand corrected. There's only 3 in this house. So there's the one down here, and then there's one upstairs for the master, and then there's a Jack and Jill bath. Okay, so I don't know why. I don't know why I thought otherwise, but I guess that the original blueprint was 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Sorry. I don't know what my brain's doing. She's up to something. She's up to something up there. But so when I think of like Italian American, American Italian, I always associate it with Olive Garden. Like it's just like you know how Olive Garden has like that tacky kind of fake wood with like the tile mixtures, like it's just they just don't, they kind of clash, like they don't really work. So that's kind of what I was going for with like the bathrooms. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I know very much that the tile in the shower and like the wall tiles, like I know it doesn't match. I know it doesn't. But that's what I was going for. I was going for that like bright, tacky, like kind of knockoff Mediterranean sort of vibe. I don't know how to explain it, but that's kind of what I was going for in this bathroom. And God, it was just this house was very challenging to build, I want to say. Challenging because I was kind of getting stressed out because I knew that this build was going to take forever, right? And I didn't really want that to happen, but I knew it was gonna happen. And like I also didn't know what I wanted going into it, right? So I was basically the blueprint. The outside was like a gray brick, which feels very suburban, family, neighborhood type of thing. And that's not really what I wanted. At first it was, but after I went along and was like actually starting to build the house, I realized like, oh, this would be like a cute little Italian style family home. So I did that. And initially, like in my head, I was thinking, suburban. But that it just the vibe didn't stick. It did not stay in my mind for very long. But yeah, the outside was gray and it had a very basic landscaping. So like later on when I do the landscaping, it's okay. Like the landscaping isn't bad. It was just it was different than what I'm used to. Hi everyone, this is editing me, as you can see. I am here with not very good news. So basically, I was having some issues because my video was not like rendering and I was not able to edit the video. I was not able to literally do anything. And so what I did is I saved my video and I had to delete the clips, right? Because it was 15 hours worth of footage that was like taking up all my disk space and I literally couldn't do anything else to this video. And basically, I was like, I deleted all the clips or whatever. And now like I go to edit and like half of my video is corrupt because it didn't like save properly, which of course that would happen immediately after like the videos and stuff were deleted. And like mind you, it was saved and everything. This wasn't like this wasn't like a situation like I deleted it and I was still trying to edit on the editor or whatever. Like no, I had the video saved, so it should have been fine, but it was not. So I am going to have to cut the speed build short because it is coming to an end right now from what I've filmed. So but don't worry, I will still do a tour of the build and everything. I have that footage saved, so don't worry about that. You guys will still see the build. And the build is also still available on the gallery right now, so you guys still have access to this build no matter what. So thank you guys all so much for being patient with me, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you. All right, everyone, so here's the house, and I want to apologize again for the technical difficulties that have literally been happening all day. Even this clip, I've already filmed once before, but that also got deleted. So this is a new clip. So this is our house. This is actually in Tartosa, but you guys could place this anywhere, of course. And this is our outside. We have, just some pretty simple landscaping, and Here's our backyard. So what you didn't see, I don't think yet in the video, was that this I struggled with this backyard a lot. But this bar is fully functional. Your Sims can go on either side, and your Sim can also, you know, swim up to the bar stool and they can actually have drinks there, which I love that. I also wasn't a huge Okay. Well, she's taking a dive, I guess. I wasn't a huge fan of the backyard, but now that like I changed a bunch of stuff, like I feel like I like it a lot better. Let's go to the front of the house. So I wound up actually changing this little entry area rug because it was floating. So there was like a bigger one here that like I sized down, but it was floating because of this platform here. And over here we have this cute little like office space. It is kind of cluttered and small, but I feel like I would get a lot of work done in there for some reason. Like it feels cozy, like cluttered, but still clean, you know what I mean? And then over here we do have a garage. It isn't functional because, you know, we don't have cars. Like if you really wanted this to be like a usable space, you could turn this honestly into like a bedroom. You could turn this into like an at-home gym. You could turn this into like a laundry, a mudroom space. I mean, it kind of is a mudroom, but you could put like laundry in here, you know. There's a lot of things you could do with this space. And then over here we have the main floor bathroom. And the goal that I was going for was kind of like tacky a little bit. So I mixed and matched like a bunch of different textures and stuff like that. You can always change this and update it. I would love to see that. So if you guys do, just let me know. Tell me, comment, tell me what your guys EAID is, and I would love to go see those type of builds. And here is our kitchen. So I really like the way this kitchen turned out. I was thinking, like I said, I was thinking like Italian style. So basically I wanted like big but cozy, and then also enough space to store food, because let's be real, Italians, we like to eat a lot. And then I was also like thinking somewhere like people could gather. So that's kind of like the idea that I had with this kitchen. And I really wish we had cupboards that could merge like that instead of have to clip. But I mean, I tried to cover it up the best I could, and I think it does serve a purpose, and everything is functional. I did test everything. So, and also here is our dining room. Oh, and out this door right here would be out to the backyard. But here's our dining room. Feels kind of cozy too. Here, I really like the way that this platform came out. Like, I know you can kind of see that clipping underneath, which is like a pretty common glitch that's been happening with the curved platforms. I tried to cover that up a little bit with this trim, so it's not as noticeable. And then here is our living room. So basically the goal that I had with this living room was purposeful clutter. So I didn't want everything to be matchy. I wanted it to be more like everything has a purpose, but like still feels clean. You know what I mean? Like not dirty, it just feels kind of homey. And then there's the French doors right back out. So it's a big circle. And if we go back over here, here's our like little hallway. I wanted to keep this very simple because it's like a small space, so I didn't want to put too much clutter in it. And here is the master bedroom. This is probably my favorite room in the house. Like, could you imagine having a bedroom like this with windows like all like that just, it feels so cozy. Our Sims are dying. Sorry, I had autonomy turned off, but I think they're okay now. But over here is a very small master closet. I try not to do too much in here because I feel like master bedrooms are kind of personal. So I kind of wanted to leave this up to you guys. And then in here's the master bath, and I've never done this right here with the mirrors, but I thought that was kind of cool. I usually use like these type of mirrors, like the floor to ceiling mirrors with like the glow. I did that instead, and I kind of like the way it turned out. It just feels kind of cozy. And then over here I have this is a teens room. These are actually both going to be teens rooms. But these, you know, you can change to a kid's room, a toddler's room, whatever you guys want. Sorry, our someone's drowning. Then through this door is a Jack and Jill bath. I don't know why Grandma is in here, but we have kind of like an outdated Jack and Jill bath. So what I did over here is I kind of put end tables instead of counters, because I figured like if you have like an older house, like there's some things you can't renovate, right? Or there's some things you don't want to renovate. So maybe Grandma here was like, you're not touching my antique sink. So basically they were forced to find these as an option. I don't know. And then through this way is another bedroom, which also doesn't really have matchy things except for like this, but the desk doesn't match. There's like clothes piles everywhere. The decorations don't really make sense, which I feel like is very much a teen room. But also overall, I did try to keep the bedrooms a little bit less decorated because I feel like those are really personal. If you guys go to download this, you guys can really make this your own, you know? All right, everyone, this is now on the gallery, and I did want to thank you guys so much, like genuinely from the bottom of my heart. I know I haven't put out a lot of content lately, and I know I had a lot of technical difficulties with this, so thank you guys so much for standing by, and hopefully you guys like the build, and maybe you guys will download it yourself. So let me know if you guys do wind up downloading it, and let me know what your guys' gallery ID is, and I will go check these builds out. The build is on the gallery right now at virgoxsims as always, and I want to thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.